Hey everyone, welcome to The Progressive Vibe. I'm your host, Dottie. Today is August 22nd, 2021. This is Season 5, Episode 2, and the title of this episode, Delta Variant in Alabama. We will be getting into numerous of articles talking about the surge in Alabama when it comes to the Delta variant, unfortunately. Very sad news, but I feel like we have a duty to share these numbers and the cases and everything in and out when it comes to the Delta variant. When I mean in and out, I mean, when it comes to how people have gotten vaccinated and is taking this matter a little bit more serious and different to the, anti-maskers, anti-vaxxers, and so forth. But we will be getting into that a little bit more in the main show. But first things first, as always, to the listeners of the podcast, I want to say thank you for liking, sharing, and donating to the show. However you show support to the show, it is greatly appreciated, guys. As you know, sharing the podcast on social media is the most effective way to get the progressive message out, and it is all totally free. The Progressive Vibe is on all platforms you can listen and get your podcast. That's on Google Podcasts, that's on Spotify, that's on Apple Podcasts, and so forth. The Progressive Vibe is also on Podchaser. If anybody who listens to the program don't know what Podchaser is, you should very, very much so check them out. It is a platform that empowers podcasts discovery for listeners, podcasters, and everyone else. If you want to learn more about Podchaser, go to podchaser.com. And also, if you have anything you want me to discuss on the show, you can follow me on Twitter at Dottie_Vibe. That's DODI_VIBE. And you can use that hashtag TPVibe, TPVIBE on Twitter to send me a message directly so I know that you are a listener of the show, or you can use the message section from the contact form on the show's website. I will let you guys know the website information here in a minute. Also, if you want to stay in touch with the show, that's to get every new episode delivered straight to your inbox. You can do that on the website as well. And also, if you want to help us make the show and sustain future episodes, become a monthly supporter, guys. We have a few monthly supporters of the show already. It is awesome to see that we have TP Vibe members that regularly donate to the program. It is awesome, guys, and thank you to the subscribers out there of the show. To do all of this, you can go to the show's website. The show's website is The Progressive Vibe 184-970-366.wordpress.com. Again, that's The Progressive Vibe 184-970-366.wordpress.com. Or if you want to make a one-time contribution of any amount to the show, you can do this on the show's Cash App tag, or the show's Cash App. The show's Cash App tag is Dottie D92. That's DAHDEE 92. And again, guys, as I said, in today's show, we will be discussing how the Delta variant is, as of now, crippling the state, my home state Alabama. We will have an article from Deseret News that says this state has no more ICU beds as the Delta variant surges. We'll also get into an article from AL.com, that's Alabama.com, COVID Delta variant symptoms to look out for if you're fully vaccinated. And also we will be getting into an article by The Guardian, Trump booed after telling supporters to get COVID vaccine. We will talk about all of this. It's going to be a jam-packed show today, guys. So on that note, let's get into it. We will see you in the main show. Hey guys, welcome to the main show. So we have a lot to get into, so let's jump right into this. This is by the Deseret News, and we're going to do this in order. We have 3 articles, and they're all pretty fairly short, so it's not like it's going to be a lot at once. But the first one, title reads, "This state has no more ICU beds as the Delta variant surges." It says one state is out of ICU beds as the coronavirus continues to surge. It goes on to read, there were no ICU beds available in the state of Alabama on Wednesday. A site of the widespread damage of the coronavirus is and the highly transmittable Delta variant. So it poses a question. It says, did Alabama run out of ICU beds? So this was per the New York Times. Alabama was the first state in the country to see its ICU beds fill up. In fact, the Alabama Hospital Association said there were negative 29 ICU beds available in the state. It goes on to say, or as the New York Times reports, there were more than 24 people being forced to wait in emergency rooms for an open ICU bed. Can you imagine how just overwhelmed these healthcare workers are? And this has been a ongoing thing, guys. I mean, this has been something that's been ongoing now for 2 years. And it doesn't look like, judging by, America's behavior, it doesn't seem like it's going to slow down any. It goes on to read, though, we've never been here before. We are truly now in uncharted territory in terms of our ICU bed capacity, said Alabama Hospital Association President Dr. Dunn Williamson, according to WSFA. It poses another question. It says, what happens to Alabama COVID-19 patients? Williamson told WSFA that patients are still getting ICU level care, just not ICU beds. Here's from Alabama and the COVID-19 vaccine. It goes on to read, right now, only 47% of Alabama's population has been partially vaccinated against COVID-19. That's well below the national rate, which sits at 60%, according to the New York Times COVID-19 vaccine data. And it goes to pose one more question in this article. It says, is this happening elsewhere? Well, per Fox News, the nearby state of Mississippi has been opening field hospitals to deal with COVID-19 surge. Hospital officials said that the current surge has caused hospitals to become quickly overrun. So, if anybody doesn't know what an opening field hospital is, it's just putting up a tent, putting up hospital equipment in vacant spots throughout Mississippi because they don't have any more hospital beds in their facilities. And Mississippi is and Alabama, they are low populated states, so especially in rural areas, there's just not that many hospitals around anyway. And so obviously when a surge like this happens, as it did in the beginning of coronavirus, they just become quickly overran. Um, which again, it's just sad to hear about all this, and especially in my state where the ICU beds, as the article said, it's just at its limit, and you have people that are waiting like in line to get an ICU bed. And we have to also think about people who don't even have coronavirus, you know, symptoms, or are going to the hospitals because of coronavirus, even if it's not coronavirus related, is what I'm saying. There's other obviously illnesses and sicknesses that has to be dealt with at the hospital, and a lot of these people, predominantly older people, can't enter in the hospitals because um, the hospitals are overrun by people who have COVID. And, we're going to have to ask ourselves, you know, why is it worse than it was this time last year? Well, it's because we, as a country, um, well, it says the national average. Let me correct myself. It says the national average now is 60%. That's well above half of the country. But when we're breaking it down state by state, I guess I'm just speaking specifically to my state. It's a red state, and it's a lot of people who are unfortunately brainwashed by a lot of things that they see on social media that is not true. And it trickles down to the family members and so forth. And this is the outcome of what you get because, you know, as a lot of people who are in the hospitals because of COVID, or who has unfortunately died because of COVID, it's because, you know, they didn't get vaccinated, or they weren't taking the necessary precaution to prevent catching, you know, COVID-19. But I mean, it's more than just those two reasonings, obviously, but those are the main factors. But let's jump right into this next article. So this is by AL.com, Alabama.com, and the title says, COVID Delta variant symptoms to look out for if you're fully vaccinated. So this is for people who are already vaccinated, and yes, um there are breakthrough you know, symptoms that happen to fully vaccinated people. But I'm gonna read this, and it's gonna break down more of what I'm talking about, because first thing people jump to, the people who are the anti-vaxxers or the anti-maskers. Um, and again, I don't want to put everybody in that type of bubble when it comes to people who don't want to. I'm not going to say wear a mask, because it's not going to kill you to wear a mask. Let's just be real. But anti-vaxxers, it's a lot of people who still have posing questions. It's a lot of people who maybe feel scared or nervous that it hasn't been enough time have went by, enough research into these vaccinations, which is totally understandable. But for the most part, um, when I see that the vaccine has a 94 point something or 95% uh, effectiveness rate of having you not dying from COVID, then I'm on board with that, you know. Or this new Delta variant, it says that, you know, if you're fully vaccinated, that um, it doesn't completely protect you from the Delta variant, but you won't fall, very ill or die, you know, if you're fully vaccinated, which I I'm willing to take those chances. Like, I got vaccinated. It took me a minute to get vaccinated. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I uh, broke down and I got the vaccine, and I'm fine. And but I know that you know I'm not the same person as somebody else who's maybe experiencing some kind of side effects due to the shot that they got. I'm just speaking towards myself and, my family, who I know that and got it, and uh, they're doing okay so far from it. And that's kind of where I have my I don't know. That's kind of just where I have my input about it. I mean, I can't speak to it for everyone else, because again, I had my doubts going into the shot. I was nervous, but I did my research, and I asked questions and I got the answers I was looking for, and I decided to, yes, get the vaccine, and I'm doing fine. But let me read you this. Let's read this second article from AL.com. It says fully vaccinated people, defined as those at least 2 weeks after their final coronavirus vaccine dose, are often protected against severe COVID 19 illness and hospitalizations. Breakthrough cases are possible, however. According to the Alabama Department of Public Health, as of August 11th, there have been 89,732 COVID 19 cases reported in Alabama. That's a ton. Of those, 8,754, or roughly 10%, were breakthrough cases. So obviously, um, there are a lower amount of breakthrough cases if you have already been vaccinated. Again, that's what breakthrough cases are, than people who have been reported having COVID-19 because they haven't received the vaccine. Just to put that in a little bit of perspective. But it goes on to say, current data also shows that fully vaccinated persons who get COVID-19 are much less likely to get severely ill, go to the hospital, or die from COVID-19, as we just said. The COVID-19 vaccines are working, ADPH said in a statement. Many fully vaccinated people who contract COVID are either asymptomatic or experience very mild symptoms. Based on information from UC Davis Health, there are some of the most common symptoms. Here are some of the most common symptoms that show up in fully vaccinated people who test are identified as having the Delta variant of COVID 19. It is cough, fever, headache, loss of sense of smell. Another analysis, the Zoe COVID symptom study, identified the 5 most common symptoms among fully vaccinated people with breakthrough cases. They were headache, runny nose, sneezing, sore throat, loss of smell. The top 5 list did not include coughing or shortness of breath, both among the most commonly reported symptoms in the early days of the pandemic. Likewise, a runny nose and sneezing were not among the original list of common COVID symptoms. And the last part of this, it says it's believed the Delta variant is now responsible for close to 94% of new COVID cases in the United States. So the Delta variant is the most dominant variant now out of COVID. It's the most prominent. It's 94% new cases reported here in the United States, and that is a lot. And that's very, very discouraging numbers. And I will say that my state is one of the states who have helped add to the new cases here in the United States because, again, it's just a bunch of people in my state, unfortunately, don't believe in getting the vaccine or don't believe in getting a mask because the mask is infringing upon their freedom liberties or the vaccine has these DNA readers in it, these 5G DNA readers in the shot. These, I mean, it's just maddening, honestly. And anybody can create a conspiracy, and it's very, very dangerous when you get tens of thousands of people, especially majority of a state, who is reluctant to get it because of conspiracy theories. And it's starting to show up literally in the ICU beds. It's starting to show up in the reports because in my state, we choose to deny reality, it seems like, and not look out for one another because we have politicized a virus. We've literally politicized the virus. And it's unfortunate no matter what you sit on, right or left, Democrat or Republican. It's tragic to see so many people falling ill to this disease and die from it because it could have went in a completely different direction than what is going now. I wouldn't have really thought that here in 2021 we would be in the same type of predicament that we were in 2020. But now it has me to believe that this coronavirus won't not be a hot topic until 2025. I feel like it's just going to be around for at least a couple of more years, and things won't go back to quote unquote normal. I could be wrong. I hope I am wrong, but it just seems like we haven't got our act together in the bare minimum, and that's public health. That's one's own health. Um, it's just amazing seeing the amount of selfishness throughout a state that I live in. Um, and we can't end this segment without saying how big leadership goes in all this, and the lack of leadership, the lack of representation when it comes to leadership um, in our state is pathetic. And yes, that goes for Governor K. Ivey. But we've reached the 20-minute mark, guys. When we come back, we are going to discuss another article with Donald Trump being booed in Coleman, Alabama, because he recommended getting the COVID-19 shot. We'll be right back, guys. You don't want to miss this. Stay tuned. Hey guys, we're back. This is the second half of the show. So as I said before our break, Trump was in Coleman, Alabama, Saturday night, and he was holding a rally, and it was it was supposed to be a 2024 campaign rally because he quote unquote supposed to be running again in 2024. But it just turned into one of Trump's rants that he usually do about surprise himself. And it wasn't anything that was, well, and I hate to be this person, but I'm just going to be real. Biden's rallies are boring. They just are. Every Biden rally that I've seen on television, haven't been to one in person, but on television, it's just boring. But Trump's rallies, I gotta admit, I've never been to one of those either. But I've seen them on television, and they're not boring. Now, the things that he say are obviously completely wrong in my eyes, because the things that he's usually talking about is it's nothing to do with any type of policies. Like, let's be real. When have we ever seen a Trump rally and Trump just get on stage and just start talking about policies? Literally, policies. He just don't do it. He usually talks about the fake news. He usually talks about cricket Hillary Clinton. He usually probably talks about Nancy Pelosi. Probably talks about always talks about the Democrats. And he was on this whole, you don't have to get a COVID shot if you don't want to. You don't have to wear a mask if you don't want to, because it's your freedom. And this is a free country. And all this stuff, and this was stuff when Trump was president. He was downplaying it. Like, let's be real, guys. He was downplaying until he got caught on that recorded call. He was downplaying the coronavirus. He just was. And he downplayed it to a point to where now he's advising people to get the shot, and his own base, his own fan base is booing him in Coleman, Alabama. And because when I was watching the rally, the crowd seems, because I mean, first things first, people were shoulder to shoulder, and I got to give Trump credit. I mean, he brings out a crowd every time wherever he's at. Usually he's in red parts of the country, but wherever he's at, he's going to bring his base of supporters out. He just is. And as I said, he might be wrong. Not might be. He kind of is wrong in pretty much everything he says that comes out of his mouth, because usually it's lying, but he's able to turn out a base, and he's usually entertaining when he does it. But the people at the rally were not interested in hearing how Trump wants people to do what you got to do, as it says in this article I'm about to read you guys, and get vaccinated, because I got vaccinated and I'm fine. That's one of the quotes. I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much one of the quotes in the article that I'm about to read you guys. But I just wanted to give you guys my feel on it before I read it to you, because it's super short, but it's just how his base is still worried about him being something that's not going to happen, and that's being reelected this year. That's him being back in the White House, because Biden didn't actually win, and the election was stolen, and it was a fraudulent election, and they're doing audits right now in the states that Trump clearly lost in. And don't take my word from it. Take the court's word from it, because each of these states that he said that he lost appointed judges, and they asked his lawyer at the time, Rudy Giuliani, which, does anybody know if Rudy Giuliani is like doing okay? Has he? He's clearly just lost all his marbles, and but I mean, I guess you got to, if you're going to be Trump's personal lawyer, you got to be something. That again, that's just my take from it, guys. And I know I have a few conservatives that listen to my show, but hey, if this episode ain't for you, you might want to leave, because if you think that I have anything nice to say about Trump, I don't. And this is a progressive vibe. This is my vibe on it, and I keep it as truthful as I can, because that's what my listeners want, and that's what the progressive movement, the progressive base, is all about anyway. It's about facts, because they matter. Facts matter. The truth matters. Right and wrong matters. And if you're wrong in something, I'm gonna call you out on it. And that's Biden, that's Trump, that's Obama. You have to do that, because the progressive agenda, this show's agenda, is about giving context, giving truth to power, and finding out ways that we can structurally change average people's lives for the better, and curtailing policies that show that. And if it's somebody that's president, if it's somebody that's governor, if it's somebody that's mayor, etc., that's not living up to what the people who voted them to be in office to do, then you have to call them out for it. You just have to. And right now I'm calling out Trump because he really tried to do both sides at that rally Saturday. He really, and I'm not talking about Charlottesville. I'm talking about he was really trying to say, hey, look, guys, I haven't fed you all type of nonsense while I was president, downplaying the coronavirus. But now, hey, yo, you should get it because I got it. It's a good idea. And he really thought that was going to probably work, but it didn't, because you've let the tiger out of the cage. You've been did that. You did that when you were president. You did that when you were downplaying it. You did that when you was talking about on national television at a White House briefing that it was okay to inject bleach inside of your body. All of this stuff happened. You said this stuff. And you can't go back now and try to, put your finger in your mouth and test the wind and see what direction the wind blows. No, it's not gonna be like that. It's not like that. Because you have created this and it has gotten out of hand, and it's gotten out of hand, and you've been vaccinated. You've been vaccinated. But you want to lead to believe that the vaccinations didn't work. But now all of a sudden they do, huh? It's crazy how that happens. But I'm going to go ahead and read you this article, guys, because it's kind of self-revealing, honestly. So this is from the Guardian, and the title reads, Trump booed after telling supporters to get COVID vaccine. At his rally in Alabama on Saturday night, Donald Trump heard the unusual sound of booing and jeering aimed his way after he told supporters, quote, I recommend taking the vaccines. The former president was speaking in Coleman, Alabama, a city struggling to cope with COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations. Like other states home to resistance to vaccinations and other public health measures often stoked by Republican leaders, Alabama is currently at the mercy of the Delta variant of the coronavirus. This is from Trump. He says, quote, I believe totally in your freedoms. I do. You're free. You got to do what you have to do. But I recommend taking the vaccines. I did it. It's good. Take the vaccines. So that was him in a quote, again, trying to have it both ways by saying, hey, I totally believe in your freedoms. I do. You're free. You got to do what you got to do. So that means, hey, if you want to potentially get ill and die from a coronavirus, then that's your freedom to do so. But I would recommend taking the vaccines because I did it. I didn't want to die. I didn't want to get super ill. So as he said, it's good. Take the vaccines. But it goes on to read, guys. Trump was vaccinated while in office, having been hospitalized with COVID-19 last October. He was told supporters they should follow suit. In Alabama, responding to boos and jeers, he said, quote, that's okay. That's all right. That's good. You got your freedoms. But I happen to take the vaccine. If it doesn't work, you'll be the first to know, okay? See, again, trying to have it both ways, because when you got the vaccine, you weren't telling the people while you were in office that it was good, it was okay to take the vaccines, it was safe. You weren't displaying none of that, but you yourself took it. Oh, okay. Okay. But it goes on to read, guys. Ahead of the Trump rally, local authorities said they feared a super spreader event. That means they feared that the Delta variant was a feeding ground in Coleman, Alabama. That's what that meant. It goes on to say, according to AL.com, an article, a news outlet article that we just read in the last segment, Luke Satterfield, an attorney for the city, said, quote, "We want to prevent as many non-COVID related things as possible. So our hospital can use its resources to focus on the pandemic and its variants. We don't want to put any extra strain on them," end quote. As the Delta variant surges across the U.S., hospitalizations and deaths from COVID-19 are overwhelmingly among the unvaccinated. In Alabama, the State Hospital Association said this week that 85% of hospitalized COVID-19 patients were unvaccinated. 85% were unvaccinated. Alabama is also seeing a surge in COVID-19 cases among children. The state this week had 50 children hospitalized with COVID-19. Dr. Karen Landers, a pediatrician with the Alabama Health Department, told the Associated Press she was, quote, very concerned children can and do contract and spread COVID-19, end quote. Elsewhere on Saturday, the Republican governor of Texas, another state struggling with COVID-19 cases and political turmoil over public health mandates, said he had tested negative for COVID-19 4 days after testing positive. He says the Texas governor said, quote, "I'm told that my infection was brief and mild because of the vaccination." No shit. Greg Abbott said in a video, that's the Texas governor, guys. Greg Abbott said in a video posted on Twitter, quote, "So I encourage others who have not yet received a vaccination to consider getting one," end quote. And that's the end of the article, guys. But last few things before we close out this. It just gets on my nerves that these Republicans who are elected officials have all of these they have all of these things that they say that lead to you believing, or the things that they do have you believe that they are not pro getting the vaccine, that they are anti getting the vaccine. But when they get it, or when they see that the spotlights is on their state and the media is covering it, then they're pressed to say, okay, hey guys, I think it's a good idea to get the vaccination, because our ICU beds are filling up to the capacity. Our healthcare workers are literally swarmed, strained, exhausted, whatever other word you want to throw in there. They have reached their limit day in and day out of not only treating work, which is working every day, day in and day out, and witnessing all of the deaths. That has to take a psychological effect on someone. I'm sure it does. And like the local authorities within these states, they're saying, hey, we're concerned because our healthcare workers are already up to their necks in what they can do when it comes to the coronavirus, the Delta variant. And it's just remarkable seeing that these people are so worried about not a virus that can kill you, because a virus doesn't have any political affiliation, but they're worried more so about these audits that's supposed to happen in these states to overturn the election. That's not going to happen because Biden won the election. He just did. Just like Trump won the election in 2016 over Hillary Clinton, because he just did. He won the election. Biden just won the election. It was no overwhelmingly amounts of cases of fraud. There just wasn't. There weren't people stuffing the ballot boxes. And to me personally, and I'm going to leave it right here because we're at the 20-minute mark, and this is going to be a long freaking episode. So I hope you guys got your coffee or your beverage of choice. But I'm going to leave this here and say, Trump's just taking your money. He's holding these rallies because I don't believe Trump's running in 2024. I don't think he wants to run in 2024 because I think he knows that he's going to. And I'm not saying this out of like spite or out of some kind of like competition purpose or whatever like that. But I just think that he knows he's not going to get reelected again. I think that's a fair thing to say. And now he's up to his neck in legal fees. So he's having these campaign rallies in these states that he knows that he's popular in, these towns that he knows he's popular in, and he's raising money to pay for his legal fees. That's just it. That's just it. And he's saying what's want to be heard, even if he knows that the stuff that he's saying is not even true. But we're going to leave it there, guys. When we come back, we're going to have the social media break, and after that, we're going to close out this show. It's been a hell of a show. It was a lot to talk about, but when we come back, we're going to end it kind of lighthearted. So when we come back, we will have the social media break. Stay tuned, guys. Hey guys, welcome to the social media break of the show. I hope you do enjoy, but before we get into the social media break, I do want to let you know about our sponsors. So one is by WordPress. WordPress, it is a website for podcasters and for bloggers to create your own website. So if you are a blogger or a podcaster, you want to have your own website, WordPress.com is the place to do it. And also, this podcast is sponsored by Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. As I said, this show is sponsored by Anchor, and it is created by Anchor. It's super, super easy, super, super fun. And if you've been thinking about making your own podcast, then go to anchor.fm.com to learn more to get started on that. And last but not least, guys, to add a little bit more context to what I was talking about when it came to Trump and him advising people to get the COVID shot, I applaud him for actually saying what needed to be said when he was president, But again, that's the whole problem, right? He was downplaying it, and now that he's not, at least not downplaying it in public, then now it's, he's getting booed by his own base, because his own base feels like, hey, it's not real and it's not that big of a deal. And as you said before, it's infringing upon our civil liberties. So how dare you change sides now? And so, again, give credit where credit's due, I suppose, and say that, he has obviously he has the right to change his mind, his tone on the coronavirus, but this would have been way, way, way more sufficient if he would have did this while he was president of the United States. But I digress, and we will read some of these Twitter posts. So let's see. Here is the first one. This is by Benjamin Dixon on Twitter. He says, "We live in the upside down, in the bad timeline where we reward the very worst in human behavior and celebrate vices as virtue. Greed and ignorance are the paths to power and wealth in our reality. We're in the bad timeline." I 100% agree with that. Just weird that we were always taught that having good behavior will get you, rewarded, and having bad behavior won't. But oh, how the times have changed. This is by Nina Turner on Twitter. She responded to Danny DeVito, who said, "Support Nabasco workers striking for humane working hours, fair pay, outsourcing jobs." And Nina Turner said, "No contracts, no snacks." If anybody hasn't been keeping up with that that ongoing strike right now with the Nabasco workers, I stress that you do so and look that up and support them the way you can. You go on there, you look it up and go on their page. You will find petitions and so forth on supporting Nabasco workers. I've already did it. Obviously, the things that they're asking for is not crazy. They're just basic needs of a worker, and it's just crazy that majority of people can't seem to put their head around that. Mostly corporations, though. Obviously, the people who control the corporations. Scott Huffman says on Twitter, "Our children were forced into active shooter drills, and now parents are surprisingly worried about the trauma from masks during school. Ain't that the truth? All these anti-vaxxers and anti-masker parents out here that saying that, oh, it's going to cause my kid trauma during school. Which, if you see in most studies, it shows that kids actually don't mind wearing masks in school. But obviously, I'm not trying to downplay that, because I'm sure, that type of thing does happen with kids, no matter what the situation is, like wearing masks in school. I very, very much so feels like that's a rarity that happens, but nonetheless, it's a possibility. So I do respect that. But what Scott Huffman for North Carolina said, the children are forced to be subjected to active shooter drills, and parents really don't mind that, or mind the, well, why does my kid have to do these active shooter drills? How can we make the school and our community more safe by addressing school shooters? Going to our elected officials and say, hey, look, we demand change on this, because we want our kid to go to school and feel safe, and we want to feel safe that our kid is in a school where they won't get mowed down. And obviously, it's not just in poor communities, but it happens in rich communities as well. So great point by Scott Huffman on that. And let me see, guys. Just trying to find a good one. Last one here. Oh, I had it. It went away. Well, that sucks. So now I gotta find another one. I'm sorry. I am sorry, guys. Let me look up another one. Now I feel like I gotta read a couple more, because this was gonna be the last one, and I was gonna end it off on a drop the mic tweet, but now that it has updated, I can't find it. So I'm just trying to pass all of the sports and the advertisements. I found it, actually. I found it. It says, this is by Archer on Twitter. Archer_Ventress. I'm a millennial. I am determined to show more respect to the generations that come after me than was shown to me by the generations that came before. Such a great point. I'm a millennial too, and I'm glad that I have it in my spirit that even though maybe I didn't get certain things in society that I wanted when I was alive, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we can't, as a millennial, that I can't fight and enact that change for the future generations to come, because hopefully that rubs off on that generation and they will want to do that to future generations. again, it's a trickle down effect, and it's all how we take matters and how we react to them. And as Benjamin Dixon said in that tweet that I read, we're in the bad timeline, and it seems like a lot more people in this timeline is being rewarded for bad behavior more so than good behavior. But that's just a battle I'm willing to keep fighting for. I always want to be on the good side, and I always want to be on the right side when it comes to these things, because politics is just a word, but life is the to me, life is the bigger picture here, because we only get one shot at this, and we all have to leave this earth one point in time or another. And I just feel like, why would I want to have other generations going through what I went through? Things that I felt like should have been changed. And it does do my heart justice that majority of the country on key issues that we talk about, or that we have talked about on the program, that they are, majority of the country are behind on, that they support. And again, no matter if it's a Republican or Democrat, the majority of the country agree on these things. And I just feel like we should set politics aside and start being a human, and start addressing these things from a humanitarian standpoint more so than a political one. When we come back, guys, we're going to close out the show. Stay tuned, and we will be right back. Hey guys, welcome back. That's going to wrap up today's show. I hope everyone enjoyed today's program. It was a lot to talk about, a lot to get into. So hope you guys stay along for the ride. And again, stay safe out there. And, guys, get vaccinated. Wear a mask, and and I'm just saying this stuff because, like, I really do care about people's safety, and are concerned about the elderly and just everyone now, because it doesn't matter really what age group that you're in. You can catch COVID, you can catch the Delta variant, which is the more aggressive variant, and you could potentially get ill and die from it. And I don't want that happening to anyone, because I care about people, and love is love. And no matter what aisle, again, I always say this, go back to saying this, but no matter what aisle you sit on, we're all humans at the end of the day, and we all should take care of one another, because we're all Americans. We all live in the United States. Everybody pays taxes, and that's one of the classic things. If you're a taxpayer, then you should have a right to vote, and you should have a right to input on how your government's treating you. Well, yeah, so we should keep that same energy, and we should apply it when it comes to common sense things like a virus, instead of politicizing it, because we see where that has gotten us. It seems like that had gotten us back to square one. The same situation that we were in when coronavirus first started. So everyone continue to stay safe out there. We will be back next week. New show. Again, I want to thank you to the listeners out there who like, share, and donate to the show. However you show support, guys, however you show love, it is greatly appreciated. There would be no show without you. And yeah, guys, so until then, stay positive, stay progressive, and we will see you next week. Peace out.